Rather, with the lunar eclipse, you're looking towards the moon. So the Earth's atmosphere is scattering out that blue light, and all you're left with is just a red light that's reflecting on the moon. The best viewing time is going to start shortly after 6 o'clock and continue to around 7 o'clock that morning on the East Coast and much of the Southeast. Here's the thing, though. It's going to be very low in the horizon, so even as you're looking towards the west, here's the thing, though. It's going to be super low, so terrain could be kind of blocking that somewhat, trees. It's also going to be weather dependent, so if the skies are clear enough, then you'll be able to see it. And it's going to be a short window, too, because it's happening so late in the morning, and of course the rapidly increasing daylight is going to impact that. However, now as you move points west, as you head towards like Central Time and so forth, you're going to be seeing this at 5:04 instead of 6:04 and so forth until you get up to the west coast.
Well, last weekend's historic blizzard in Rhode Island left cities with a problem. We're to put 3 feet of snow after it was plowed off the roads. Normally, they would not dump it into the waterways for environmental reasons, but as Maddie Hems reports, they received special permission to do so.
It's never been acceptable just to dump it, unless it's truly an emergency.
The blizzard of 2026 officially in emergency territory, according to the Department of Environmental Management.
We want to try to minimize the amount of those pollutants that get discharged. With that being said, we do recognize that there are public safety concerns also.
The DEM allowing snow disposal into bodies of water as a last resort.
Emergency vehicles need to access roads. You don't want people slipping and falling.
Obviously, we would prefer if it weren't the case, but these are extenuating circumstances.
Chris Dodge with Save the Bay says the salt, sand, and automotive chemicals get into the water anyway, but typically go through filtration first.
We're just kind of hoping that as many municipalities will let the snow melt in places where it can go into groundwater, it can go into stormwater infrastructure that is built to filter water in lots of different ways before it discharges into the rivers.
He says since the exception is made sparingly, it's unlikely we'll see any long-term environmental harm. But still,
we're always hopeful that this is kind of a last resort.
Lettuce farmers in Yuma, Arizona are accelerating their harvest operations this season. Temperatures are approaching triple digits earlier than usual, and that's pushing growers to adjust schedules and logistics to protect crop quality. Karina Bazarte has more.
The weather's been a little unusual this year, but the heat does impact our crops.
John Bolts is a co-owner of Desert Premium Farms in Yuma. The lettuce grown here ends up on dinner tables across the U.S. and Canada. This is how lettuce looks when it's ready.
You don't want the knife in the dirt, so okay. You want to keep it above the dirt, yeah. And you can slide it down, yeah, and just give it a cut there. Sorry, my knife's not very sharp.
It's okay.
And then
it's time for salad.
In each acre, there's about 60,000+ servings. For an individual, so an individual salad.
But Bolt says this season, the weather has been different, and it's creating challenges. Last fall, Yuma received nearly 3 times the normal rainfall, and now the temperature is already in the 90s.
Now we're getting ready for harvest. It's been through some warmer temps than we normally would expect.
Bolt says it's speeding up the harvest. Farm workers having to start early as 4 a.m., and when the temperatures get closer to the triple digits, they'll start at night. It's a race against the heat.
And once we cut a head of lettuce to get it into the cold chain quickly, so we want to get it cut in the packaging in the field and to a local cooler.
Well, it's been 25 years since the so-called Nisqually quake rocked the Pacific Northwest, including Seattle. Today, many worry the city and its buildings are still not ready for the next big one. Chris Daniels has more.
And I thought it was going to come down. I thought I was going to die today, and my business is gone now.
They are the images that keep Amanda Hertzfeld up at night.
If we were standing here when that earthquake happened, we very well might not be alive today. Brick's very fire resistant, but in an earthquake where there's sideways motion, I like to say the knee bone is not connected to the leg bone. It's a very simple engineering fix to prevent this from happening.
She's the manager for the City of Seattle's unreinforced masonry building program that eases requirements, permitting, and fees for retrofitting, and says only a small percentage of owners have done the work.
How many buildings, though, have actually been reinforced since 2001?
79 have been officially recognized as retrofitted.
Hertzfeld took her case to Olympia this session, arguing the state should fix the bricks because shift happens, suggesting there are more than 1,000 URMs in Seattle and 33,000 statewide. House Bill 1810 would have studied tax incentives and complete the state URM inventory, but died in committee.
Do you think people just forgot that this happened 25 years ago?
Yeah. I think they forgot. I think we have so many new people in the city that people just maybe don't know that we're a high seismic risk area. I like to point out, like Mount Rainier, right? The mountain's out. That's an active volcano because of the subduction zone.
And it is wise she'll continue to relive those memories, to add layers on her concerns that more needs to be done before the next quake rattles the region once again.
And for the latest weather news and video, be sure to follow us on social media. You can find us on all your favorite social media platforms. Just search the National Weather Desk or scan the QR code on the bottom left corner of your screen. And coming up on the National Weather Desk, we'll head to California for an up-close look at the Fresno Blossom Trail, and we're going to help you better understand lenticular clouds.
I'm meteorologist Ryan Munn. Let's get a look at the Northeast. We head through the day on Monday. We are talking lots of sunshine for many areas, but very cold. Temperatures running in the teens and 20s for many spots. And then for the day on Tuesday, clouds will start to increase, and we are going to see some rain in the southern part of New England as we head through the afternoon and evening. Even a little bit of mixing possible. A little bit more snow, I think, on the northern fringe of this as we head through Tuesday night into early on Wednesday. The high temperatures for the day on Monday, again, 20s to near 30.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Gerard Jabali. Here's a look at the Mid-Atlantic region tracking some active weather. We may have been talking about some light snow going through Monday, but that's going to be very much confined to southern Maryland down towards Virginia, where it will actually change over to some rain across parts of that region too. And it looks like Tuesday morning we could be starting out with more of the wintry mixture. Getting into Tuesday afternoon, likely going to see it changing over to all rain. Temperatures, of course, chilly to start your week, but we'll start to see things warming up. We're covering into the 40s by Tuesday afternoon.
Hi, meteorologist Jennifer Collins with a look at your southeast forecast. A warm afternoon in store for most of the southeast, with temperatures running in the 70s along the northern Gulf Coast and the 80s across the Florida Peninsula. A little chilly across the Carolinas with temperatures in the 40s and 50s. We'll have the chance for a couple of showers along Tennessee and the Mississippi River Valley, otherwise dry for most of the Gulf Coast across South Florida. A few pop-up showers possible during the afternoon, and some coastal showers along the East Coast heading through the middle of the week.
The National Weather Desk celebrates 250 years of amazing America.
Well, wildflowers are close to bloom in some areas. The first being California. Meteorologist Veronica Johnson shows us what weather factors are at play in helping these early blooms develop.
California getting ready for a super bloom, the wildflowers that pop up over such a broad area. And what they need for that super bloom, some of the factors is, well, really warm air. Some of the months that we typically see a super bloom out there: February, March, the month of April, California, Arizona, Nevada, Texas, Utah, all will be seeing, I think, super blooms coming up. But California certainly at the top of the list there with all the rainfall, the sunshine, the abundant sunshine coming their way, and of course those mild temperatures. Of course, we don't have technically a super bloom here, but we've got our own kind of super bloom going on with the cherry blossoms that will be taking place late March, early April. I think it'll be early April when we see peak bloom this time, a little later.
All right, so we now know why some areas are starting to see spring bloom, but now let's get a closer look at what that looks like. Liz Gonzalez takes us to the Fresno County Blossom Trail in California.
With the passing of every winter, a spectacle comes to life, leading to a patchwork of colors, rows and rows of beauty.
You're looking at a scene that you just don't find in many places, not in this country, but in this world.
And with its own buzz. Literally, this is the Fresno County Blossom Trail, a 70-mile celebration of the promise of spring.
Essentially mid-February through mid-March, you're going to catch some pretty spectacular colors here. There are folks that come throughout the world, definitely throughout the nation, to see what we have here in our backyard. You look down these rows and it just looks like a carpet of snow going on right now.
Different colors are different crops. Pink shades, peaches, and nectarines. Apricots too. White shades, almonds, plums. But all of these blooms are more than just a beautiful sight. Would you believe this is the largest pollinator event in the whole world?
See, it's the economics of the valley. These flowers that you're looking at is the future fruits of what's going to be the fruits of our labor here in just a few months, and really is what helps feed this nation.
According to the California Farm Bureau, the almond harvest alone requires nearly 2 million bee colonies, not just in Fresno County, but across the San Joaquin Valley.
It's been said about 90% of the nation's honeybees are here in the San Joaquin Valley right now for this pollination event. The reason that I'm able to have these almonds is because of the magic work of what these bees do.
Magic worth millions and more. In Fresno County alone, almonds are a $1.4 billion industry. Peaches, $422 million. Fresno County's fruits and nuts are shipped to more than 90 countries.
That lovely hum that's going on, it's just a very solid, consistent hum, and those bees are busy.
And with that work underway, Jacobson advises it's best to stay out of the way.
These are active farms right now.
Not just because of the bees. After all, these fields are private property, and some farmers apply fungicides after rainfall too, meaning it's best to admire from afar, and sooner rather than later.
It's just this little special window. Like, you can't wait till the following week in many cases and hope that you're going to catch it the same, because it's rapidly changing every day there.
Bottom line, enjoy it while it lasts.
No blooms yet around the Great Lakes. It still looks and feels like winter, and in some places the snow and ice are a major attraction. Eric Peterson is in Wisconsin and shows us the beauty of winter waterfalls.
After building strength and momentum, the Thunder River rushes over the rocks and plunges into the pool below.
Veterans is a really popular waterfall, and it's actually known for its three-tiered approach. So you see the first tier right behind us here under the bridge, which obviously is a gorgeous view to be able to walk over, see that water flowing beneath you. But then as you travel down the river further, there's another cascade and even one further down.
Marinette County Development and Tourism Director Autumn Timblin says getting to the falls is relatively user-friendly.
There's a stairway down as well as a new and improved pathway sloping down, so nice gradual easy walk that then focuses down onto a viewing platform to help you get out and see the waterfall.
And once there, Timblin says winter brings a certain serenity.
You don't have as many people out, so you really get that peaceful, quiet time to enjoy the nature around you. So great place to just take a breath and relax.
And with about 15 different sites, Timblin says the self-proclaimed waterfalls capital of Wisconsin has a location for just about anyone.
Not sure how long our winter will last, but we have some snow still here to stay for a little while to get a different glance of what those waterfalls look like with the snow and the ice on them. And then hopefully not too far down the road, spring will be on its way.
Well, as we mentioned, part of the reason for those early blooms is because of mild winter that has also caused below average snowpack in those same areas. When discussing snowpack, you may hear about snow water equivalent, but what does that actually even mean? Meteorologist Lindsay Storrs explains.
So in an area in the mountains, we have snowpack. Let's say in this particular area, we've got 27 inches of snowpack. The folks with the snow survey will go out and they'll take a cylinder. They'll put that cylinder down into the snow, filling it full of snow, and then they come and melt it down. And whatever it melts down to, for this example, 7.8 inches of water, is the snow water equivalent. And that is what we compare to the normal amount for this time in the season.
Well, some of the most beautiful sights are often found in the sky, clouds. Here at the National Weather Desk, we love teaching you about the different types of clouds that you see. Today, meteorologist Hannah Sheehy tells us about lenticular clouds and why some people call them UFO clouds.
These smooth lens-shaped clouds are some of the most eye-catching formations in the sky. Officially named altocumulus standing lenticular clouds, these clouds form when stable, moist air flows over mountains, creating standing waves in the atmosphere. As the air rises up the mountain, it cools and condenses. As the air sinks back down on the other side, it warms and evaporates, giving the cloud their signature flying saucer look. Lenticular clouds are stationary, which means they don't move. Unlike other clouds that drift with the wind, these clouds are locked in with the mountain wave structure where even the strongest winds move through them. Lenticular clouds are often a sign of strong winds aloft and a stable atmosphere, which speak to how the atmosphere is set up during the colder months. Lenticular clouds are most common during late fall to early spring during those prime cold months. Airplane pilots like to pay close attention to these clouds because mountain waves can produce severe turbulence, even when the rest of the sky is clear. If you want to see lenticular clouds, look toward mountain ranges on a calm weather day. You may just see one.
And time now for a short break, but first we take in views of the Seattle skyline and the gorgeous, gorgeous Puget Sound.
Well, a very good Monday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buck-Michael. We have some snow and wintry mix, including some rain across the lower Ohio Valley, kicking its way through here early this morning, while most of the rest of the Midwest is pretty quiet. Then we start cranking up the rain for the Ohio Valley and lower Great Lakes for tomorrow. It's going to be sticking around not only for tomorrow, but into Wednesday and a lot of the week. We're just going to have a conveyor belt of rain pumping its way up into the Ohio Valley, dry to the upper Midwest.
Good Monday morning. I'm meteorologist Joe DiCarlo. Look at your forecast across the region, and we'll start with the morning cloud cover, but then plenty of sunshine across most of the region this afternoon. It will be cool in Oklahoma, but for the most part, 70s and lower 80s for the rest of the region. And then as we head into your Tuesday, again, some clouds in the morning, then plenty of sunshine, warmer across the region, highs in the 70s and 80s.
Well, hi there and a good Monday morning to everybody. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. Out west, it just keeps getting warmer. Spring training, of course, underway in the desert, and it is just as hot in Phoenix today as it's been for the last several days. Right back into the 90s there for playing baseball in the Valley of the Sun. 6 to 9 as it cools off in San Diego. We've got some wet and gusty weather on its way toward the Four Corners region. Salt Lake City and Wyoming looking gusty and damp today. And that's the scene from here.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
An altocumulus hole punch cloud, also known as a fall streak, appears over South Carolina. They often form when planes pass through clouds made up of water droplets that had yet to freeze. Many of the halos that could form in ice crystals did form over this snowy spot near Reno, Nevada. And these kids are clearly enjoying the fantastic view of a full rainbow near Green Bay.
For more content like this, follow the National Weather Desk on TikTok.
Well, the Western Carolinas are in a severe drought according to the latest drought monitor. All this despite recent snow and rain. Meteorologist Julia Haley has more.
100% of North Carolina is in drought, with severe drought covering nearly 87% of the state. In South Carolina, 100% of the state is in drought. Severe drought covers about 65%, and extreme drought accounts for just over 12%, primarily in the upstate. Although we've had rain, snow, and an ice event this winter, many of those systems produced an inch of liquid equivalent or less. The National Drought Summary says the Southeast has not received the sustained, widespread rainfall needed to reverse seasonal deficits.
And thank you so much for joining us. I'm Angela Brown. Make it a great day, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow. See you later.